when you guys, we've got Blake riding in Derek's place. We do an out lap and then one hot lap.
Exit looks clear. Okay, Rob, we've got 3 minutes.
So, welcome.
That's a new fastest lap for Lee, 59.4.
Thanks, Charles.
Sector 1 time was good. Yellow flag.
Thank you.
I was thinking of, why don't we do a rolling start, like, we all go in formation.
The guy behind has just done a 2:43.
Too late for that now.
Yellow flag, that's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Nice,
That's
Rob.
pole.
Maddie says, thank you very much for doing all this for my father on the stream.
Awesome. Awesome. Pity she wouldn't joining us.
That's lovely.
Lights on.
4,000, that means I'm
lights off.
5 seconds behind you guys. Okay, well, the question is, how is that possible? I present you guys have already gone, but you're still on the grid for me. Okay, I gotta sort out my ping. I can't drive with you guys like that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Nice start, Lee.
Thank you. I don't know why they put me on the inside though.
Well done, Rob. Good start.
It should have been you.
Always get confused about which side poles go on.
Lee, there's no
All
lead.
goes on the right.
I saved Eric.
Are you behind me?
Yeah.
Sorry about turn 1, guys. I overbraked myself.
Ah, was it you?
I think so.
Why are you braking at turn 1?
Turn 2, sorry.
You know, we know James loved racing, and this is how we all got to know him. And in the time that I knew him, he raced in 3 different classes in Lotus Challenge. I know he also raced a Shelby Daytona, a Ligier, Fun Cup, and of course the Nashes was also his brainchild, and a car very similar to the car we're going to race tonight, the Radical, is called the ADR, which is also a bike engine car, which I think he imported, and a lot of the ideas for the Nash came from that specific car. I think some of the work and so on. So that was, James, he raced whatever he could lay his hands on, and when he stopped racing in Lotus Challenge and other series, he then obviously started racing with us, so racing was definitely in his blood. So just in terms of his racing stats and his career in Lotus Challenge, he did, I think he was the second person in Lotus Challenge, Fred helped me, that achieved 100 races, 100 events.
I think so.
Yeah.
Jeff, yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
On your right. Still the clear right.
Shit, sorry, Rob.
All good.
Right side. Right car right. Clear right.
James started his racing career in 2003 in what was then known as Class C, which was like a handicap with a breakout class. He only did 9 races for 1 year, and typical of James, it wasn't his form of racing. He out of the 18 races, he broke out 9 times. So he wanted to race. He didn't want to race for index of performance. And then he moved on to Class A in 2004, and he raced until 2012. And he did 64 events, 125 races. He had 4 pole positions. He won 11 races. He had 87 podiums, 11 DNFs. The trophies in total, I think he had 44, and I'll tell you something interesting about trophies and James as well. 11 fastest laps in races for the race day, and he had 3 times he also broke the lap record. And then he moved on to Class B in 2013 up until 2016, where he did 27 events, 48 heats. He had 1 pole position. He didn't win a race, but he had 17 podiums, 8 DNFs, and a total of 9 trophies, 1 fastest lap as well. So quite a fierce competitor if you look at his stats. And he just quickly see in our series as well, in the sim racing, he started in 2020. I didn't do the PlayStation. He did 139 events, 273 races. He had 20 wins, 2 fastest laps, 107 podiums, and 179 top 5 finishes. So he basically 65, almost 66% of the races, he was in the top 5, and his average position was just over fourth in total. So impressive stats, and that'll stay with us for a long time. So just from my perspective, I got to know James and got involved on the racing committee side. James was the racing chairman at the time, and as we know, James is a natural leader. People just naturally have respect for him, and I looked up to him as my mentor, and I eventually took over from him as the racing chairman. But I served on the committee, sort of on the sideline, helping with a lot of Class B stuff and so on. And I think that stood me in good stead to learn from James. James played quite a big role in shaping the future of Lotus Challenge and the TLR for that matter. And I would remember him as always the one with the voice of reason and logic. James started our driver training days as an organizer, and he was almost as pedantic about spreadsheets and a program and all that as Fred is. And James was also our presenter at the time. He also authored a little booklet which we shared in the club called So You Want to Race. And as we know, James is quite I hope this is the right word, eloquent speaker and also a great writer. And he was just listening to his voice and his, that accent you can listen, that's someone that you can listen to all day long. I don't know if any one of you have been to his house. He stayed near Muldersdrift, what is that area, on the way to Hartbeespoort. And I think out of all of us, his rig is in probably the best position. It's like a little mezzanine floor which they built when they built the house. And he said they didn't actually know what they want to use that for, other than some kind of a room with a little window where you can just lie in the afternoon on a bed and look out the window. But it was an ideal little corner for his rig where he actually did all his racing. Those of us who raced against James on track and on sim, he was a hard racer but a clean racer in both aspects. And at least with the sim racing, he could also enjoy his glass of wine whilst he was racing. James had a very sharp wit and humor, and I think Fridge will remember all the times James always had some issue with his PC and his software that had to be sorted out, and Fridge, you always helped him with that.
His house to go and help him out.
Yeah. So you've seen his rig and his little setup there. Beautiful. With a window looking over the farm there. I don't know if any of you knew, but James had a fantastic house which featured on top billing. It was all about green living and a beautiful house. And one of the things that you probably don't know that, James was so serious about recycling. He also recycled all his racing trophies. So he would dismantle them and put the metal parts in one box and the wooden parts in another box and plastic and so on. And then just lastly, the things that I learned from James is, firstly, in the driver training presentation, there was one specific thing. The one day he had a huge, I think you call it a sty on his one eye. His eye was almost swollen shut. And typical of James, he didn't look bothered about that. He didn't feel embarrassed or anything. He just carried on. But the one thing he said in racing, if you do something sudden, something is suddenly going to happen. And what he did is he demonstrated by sliding his foot on the ground, saying, if you just put your foot down, one foot, and you just try and move it forward or back, it's not so easy. But if you jump with pushing your foot into the ground, it'll slide. And he tried to explain, what happens with a tire and the contact patch and so on. So that's something that I will always remember. And then lastly, the things I learned from James is he said you can listen to someone's opinion and then you decide if you want to accept or ignore it, but at least just give it a listen first. To James, he will be dearly missed. Anyway.
Seen a bit of wear all round. On clear right.
Thanks, Peter. Don't you make mistakes, Lee.
I just did.
Proper mistakes, Lee.
Like Andy, go the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's you, Rob. You've been on my ass this whole time.
Thanks for that.
And Fridge is on his way.
Is there someone else who wants to say something?
I have a nice bottle of red wine that I've opened up, and I'm going to have a glass for James while we enjoy the tribute to James and every single race that he's joined us on, and his amazing spirit and great sense of humor. He's been a pleasure to race against.
Yeah, I only got to know James through the sim racing, but I must say I learned a lot from him, and I loved his sense of humor and his struggles with his internet connection and his PC and his fiber line, and he'll be really, really missed. And, but he had such a lovely sense of humor and such a lovely man. I met him at the Cars in the Park last year in August, September, whenever it was. I didn't even know I was talking to James Forbes. I didn't know who it was. And then later on, when he sent out that invite for people to sponsor for that vintage car run that he went on with his Rolls Royce, Bucky, I got involved, and he sent me all the pictures and kept me up to date. So I would never say I really knew him well, but was a lovely, lovely guy.
The best of the best.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, Peter. Doing great there.
Yellow flag.
Some pressure there, Robert.
Doing it for how many laps now? Hey, keep saying that. That works. The steering wheel on backwards, Andy.
I would just say, so I was fortunate enough to meet James not too long after I moved to South Africa, though I never raced against him in Lotus directly, or not much. I did share a Ligier with him in Velcom. We shared the F4. Well, I bought his F400 kart, and then he was kind enough to race with us for a season or two in karting. And I'm surprised no one else has mentioned it on this. More than once, through no fault of his own, I also ran into him while sim racing. And he was always always a gentleman about that, though no doubt a little bit frustrated as well. But yeah, superb guy, very much missed.
10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. Good lap. That's your quickest so far.
Rob,
Is Andy?
don't look behind you.
I've seen.
Many years ago, I was doing the Pakisa 6-hour and very much in my own zone in the club, Class L, and not really paying attention. And James was there with, was it an ADR? I think that's what it was called. And he looked like he'd just tried to commission it for that race, which is always not a good idea if it's a 6-hour endurance. And it just broke and broke and broke. Nothing worked. The gear shifting system didn't work. They were just perpetually trying to get this thing to work. But I remember being struck by how calm he was about the whole thing. Really just a gentleman the whole way through. And how we were parked next to him. And all my dumb questions and interest in his car, and he was totally happy to talk about it, answer it. No, very, very special guy. Yeah, very kind. Will be missed.
We'll plug the access point into another room. So maybe some of that challenge is in honor of James as well.
Yes.
Well done.
Don't accidentally go all the way to neutral.
Where's that first corner?
Yeah.
I've done that a couple of times.
Okay, well.
Nice safe reach.
Focus, keep it
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah,
3.
shifted down too many.
Get Andy a lawnmower for his birthday.
Or glasses.
Or both.
At the very least, a headset so you can respond to the jokes.
He's got one. I gave him one.
This car gets turn one quite similar to a Class B in that It feels very fast, and it feels like an almighty crash could happen.
You feel like you just want to close your eyes every time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Taryn.
P3.
Thanks,
Okay,
Taryn.
the next car is Lee.
That was a nice pass, Rich.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Lap times are pretty consistent.
Now you can relax, Lee.
Sorry?
You can just relax. You don't need to push anymore.
Okay. Slow down so we don't have to do another lap.
Oh, Charles.
Yes, my plan worked. Come here. Đâu có nào chịu dịch.
What happened, Tyron?
It nearly did work.
It's not over yet, my boy. Ah. Okay, you got it. I'll let you have it, Rich. Go for it.
Don't listen. It's a trick.
Yeah, I've fallen for that once already. Oh.
Yellow flag.
What happened, Rich?
Andy, did you run out of fuel?
Nice. Yo, that was hectic,
Great drive.
boys.
That was hectic.
Nice.
All right.
I've
Clear
forgotten
right.
how hard this car is on your body.
Yo.
I'm in a puddle of sweat here.
We should do a series on these cars. This car is lovely.
We have done, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice one, Derek.
All right.
Yo,
You're right.
I messed up there at the end. Threw away a 5-second lead.
Yes.
So did Rich.
But you came back.